Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of this rendition of Kawabunga. Today's episode, we have some light reading and a little bit of piano. So, today's episode, I want to do a little bit of light reading. I just wrote this story, and here we go. The story, I forgot what the name was called. Let me double check. Yeah, the story is starting off about. It's kind of dark, so bear with me. Chapter 1. 6 children in all. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the night the children slept in the beds, and the cat ate a mouse. Mother was busy chopping to bits pieces of meat to serve as a treat. She clinked and she clanked, and all was not well, for this is a sick story that I can barely tell. My name is Rotaran, and I pray you hear well a tale that brought heaven to hell. Heaven, the home of Foster, who was decrepit and broken. Shingles fell to the ground, but the poor children kept hoping. Maybe today or maybe tomorrow, maybe one couple will bring them home and end their bitter sorrow. 6 children in total, and their names are not forgotten. But if you dig the ground below heaven, their bodies lay rotten. This story begins like an old poem, but in the end, it was the children's unfortunate doom. Ages 4 to 9, bright and boisterous they were, 6 siblings in all, who still haunt the horrid halls. It was the night before Christmas, and Saint Nick skipped on about, eating chocolate chip cookies and drinking a stout. Ages 4 to 9, bright and boisterous they were, 6 siblings in all, who still haunt the horrid halls. The children prayed for toys, and hopeful they were with joy, but all they received were tears that continued to fall. So let us trek forth and step in the room where all 6 slept quietly, except Michaela, the child that's 4. With hands clamped tightly, she begged to her Lord, "Won't you, Father, bring me back home?" Her eyes heavy with sleep, she begged God once more, "Won't you, Father, bring us back home?" The children were torn from their place, a father drunkard and a mother of no trace. They cooked their own meals and washed their own clothes. They ate the same bread, splitting crumbs from pieces of toast. Chapter 2. The Brothers' Journey. Matthew was tall, handsome, and bold. Michael was stout, built like an ox. Together they prayed and together they fought. Matthew came home from a place far away, while Michael stayed back and kept the beast at bay. Matthew saw blood and chaos of men, while Michael saw death, their only lonely friend. Matthew was a gunner in the battle of old, while Michael was anointed a believer in God, as foretold. Together they rode on horseback through town, not a soul to be found, their ears to the ground. The visions were clear, and Michael could fathom that if they did not act quickly, the 6 souls would turn to phantoms. With haste they made stride, and together they rode to save the souls of 6 little angels untold. Tell me again, and what did you see? Was it the devil that fled in the tree? With a heavy sigh and a deep breath, Michael replied that the devil spoke to him and was full of lie. The vision had chaos and all sorts of gore the devil could relish in his galore. It is that house, the one with no light. Let us ride quietly and lengthen our stride. Michael to Matthew, and so forth they crept quiet, hopping off their bare backs, and to meet their untimely end in the end. It is that house, the one with no light. Let us ride quietly and lengthen our stride, retorted Michael to Matthew, and so forth they crept, hopping off their bare backs, to meet their unfaithful end. The house was alone and hidden from sight, away from neighbors that they can be of peering inside. They pulled out their pistols, holy water and cross. They marched to the door, but the door opened apart. Darkness was thick, and the smell was a stench that even heaven couldn't wash the stain of the devil's hand. With torches in arms, they heard but no noise. The house was cold, and the smell like a farm. Sulphur, stated Michael, and his brother agreed. They looked around but could see of nothing to be. Suddenly they heard the yelp of a child. They ran to the noise, but were met with a fiendish smile of choice. Mother was old, and this is chapter 3, buried and forgotten. Chapter 3. Mother was old, who knew and who could tell that this witch uttered a nefarious spell. She bubbled the cauldron and brewed her evil potion, some made of children, others made of simple lotion. 6 children she took and whispered to them that if they obeyed and prayed, then come to the sound of the bell, then everything would be okay. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and beneath the house lay a secret cavern where Astaroth pried about. The king of Duke of Hell had but one simple request, a piece of the apple and all knowledge for sale, but only for if he took children to sew together this tale. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and with an axe in hand, Mother crawled upstairs and quietly creeped next to 6 children who were fast asleep. She rang the bell, ding, 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 loudly, and Astaroth rushed forth. She rang the bell loudly, ding, 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 and Astaroth rushed forth. He consumed them all, bone for bone, flesh to all. Michael and Matthew snuck through the house until they heard a squeak of a quiet little mouse. With heart and stomach they quickly rummaged, but all could be heard was the toll of the bell and the witch's final spell. The house shook and shuddered, and shingles did fall. Astaroth came rushing with red eyes and all. "Matthew, run!" cried Michael in fear, but it was too late. The devil was near. Astaroth consumed and ate the brothers raw. They fought and they fought, but it was a late brawl. The sin was completed, 6 children consumed, 2 brothers came like poor heroes to meet a bitter doom. Buried and forgotten, some stories aren't told, but if you hear the bell, then Astaroth takes hold. So this story is, it's I started off strong with it initially with the idea of, these 2 brothers who were going to save these children from this evil foster mom who made a deal with the devil, Astaroth, who is the Duke of Hell. However, as the story unfolded, I realized now reading it out loud that there was a lot of missing pieces. Maybe the verbiage was a little wordy, and I could have done a better job. But let me know what you guys think. If you guys have any questions and concerns, I can turn the comments on, but I first have to see some views. Make sure that I'm getting subscribers. So if you please could like and subscribe to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. That's pretty much it for tonight. It's pretty simple, straightforward, little, time together. I want to show you guys some cool stuff though before we leave. So check it out. Right behind me, we have a bunch of Lego sets that my girlfriend does. She's amazing at it. Well, everybody, thank you for joining me on another installment of Kawabunga. This one is ASMR-ish, so enjoy, kick back, relax, and have fun with it. Like I said before, Kawabunga.